change the world. On we go.
Friends of the internet, hello! Welcome to Coffee Over Apples. My name is Steph, and for a long time on this channel, I did a blackjack TBR game. However, I got kind of tired of blackjack, and I wanted to do something a little bit different or low stakes without punishments so that I can incorporate my newer interest as well as do a TBR game that is going to be a little bit more fun for me, being that in the past year I've really gotten into Magic the Gathering. So it's something that I've kind of enjoyed for a while, but I took a very long break from it, and then in the past year has been something that I've been doing with friends a lot, so you might see in vlogs and stuff, us going to drafts and doing all kinds of things. Plus I got this really cool shirt, which is so exciting. Anyway, so here is a TBR game based off of Magic the Gathering, and we're gonna do this in the form of jousting. So if you've never played Magic the Gathering before, do not worry. You do not have to know how to play the game in order to understand how this TBR game works. Very simple. If you ever played War, the card game, like I Declare War, where basically you just two people put down cards, and whoever has the highest value card wins, that's what we're doing, right? So I have this set here. I do have cards based off of Lord of the Rings, which is the most recent pre-release set draft that we went to, and it was super fun. So I'm going to be using these. There is a mix of other cards in here, but basically I'm going to use Gandalf as an example. So on the top of the card, you will see a image and a number. So the number corresponds to the cost, as well with so it's 3 and 1 blue, right? That's what the mana cost, or the mana is the monies in this world, right? So you control mana, you control lands, and then those give you power to do spells. So this is how much it costs. So that would be the number of the card, right? So for example, if I did, well, this one is not from the Lord of the Rings draft, but if I did these two cards, you can easily see that one of them cost 6 and one of them cost 4. So great Tanuki movement. That's the point. That's literally all that we're doing. What I did was, I'm gonna put a spreadsheet up here that's kind of fancy. So I made a spreadsheet, and what I did was, there are certain keywords that correspond to the different colors in Magic, right? So there is white, blue, black, red, and green. There's also generic. Generic is plain, does not fit one of those particular color categories. So technically there's 6 categories, and for each category, I've assigned each category its own dice. So starting with a D4 to a D6, D8, D10, D12, and then D20. And I basically gave each color its own prompts based around the themes of that color. So black is technically my favorite color to play with, so that is death, ambition, infernal was one of the ones on the list, right? And then there is blue, which is knowledge and control and things like that. So what I've done is each number on that dice corresponds to a different prompt. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play War, and then depending on how that goes, whatever color wins, then I'm going to roll a dice, and that colored dice is going to match a certain number. Now, I will say there's a lot of kinks in this that I haven't figured out yet. There are keywords in Magic, right? Lifelink and haste and death touch and trample and all these other things that I have not figured out what would be a fun way to get those in there. Not as a punishment, but rather as if one card has this over another, does that allow me to flip again, or does it allow me to overrule something, or does it I don't know, does it allow me to do some weird combo? I don't know yet, but this is the first video for this, and I plan on doing this for the next couple months just to see how it goes. Since I'm starting back slow onto booktube, I want to just start out with 4 books. So each month, one book is going to be the book that I'm reading for my book club. So I do have that one already picked, and I will talk to you about that book. But then I'm going to do 3 rounds of jousting in order to figure out what other 3 books that I'm going to read. If this makes sense to you, let me know. If it doesn't make sense to you, let me know. I guess I'll write something in the description about how this works. And then if you have any ideas, if you play Magic and you understand this and you like think of how I could make it better, that would be totally awesome. So without further ado, here we go. All right, so I'll place our first card here. The only things that I have in this deck right now are creatures, sorceries, instant enchantments, and I think that's it. I took out all the lands. I might do something with lands in the future. If you've never played Magic before, it's totally fine. You don't need to know how Magic works for that. All you need to know is what the cost is. So the cost of this spell is 2. It is an artifact. So maybe in the future what I'm thinking is I might give like different prompts to different things, like if it's an artifact. But I've got a 2 for Talisman of Creativity, so that's generic. And then I've got Glorious Gale. Okay, I didn't think of what to do if that happens, if they both come out the same. So let's go again. Ooh, 4 Skyraker Giant, and this one wins because it has 4 to 1, so I'm going to roll number 12. Red, we got 12, which is a mystery thriller. I don't read a lot of mystery thrillers. I think the thriller / mystery ones that I do sometimes read are more on the horror side, because that's what I tend to collect. Like, I don't like to buy mystery books, because what I've learned is that if I buy a mystery book, once the mystery is revealed, I'm not gonna read it again, because I'm not gonna forget what happened. It's that like plot twist, right? The only time I'll really read mystery books is if someone gives it to me as like a beta reader, or for a book tour, or like for a promotional video or sponsorship or something like that, which I've done a couple times. But anyway, I'm gonna go with The Only Good Indians. This is a horror, and Storygraph and Goodreads says that it's a mystery. We're gonna go with that. It has to do with a Native American man or children. I can't remember if they're like, maybe they're just like adolescents, and there's something to do with revenge, cultural identity, and it says the cost of breaking from tradition, seamlessly blending classic horror and dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary. It follows 4 American Indian men. Okay, after a disturbing event from their youth, that's why I thought it was past, future, right? Puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives, tracked by an entity bent on revenge. These childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. This book has won so many awards, I think, and I'm pretty sure it's like at least won at some point a Goodreads Choice Award. Plus, I'm pretty sure I can think of a couple online friends who are going to be like foaming at the mouths when they see this video and screaming at me, Steph, you better vlog it. So maybe I just, maybe I should just do that. Putting these to the side and going on to round 2. Glorfindel Dauntless Rescuer with 2 green. Oh, also green. So it looks like I'm definitely going to be reading a green book next. So let's roll the green dice. 8. The green 8 rolled us a soft cover, and I'm going with book 3 in The Expanse. It is high time that I really dig deep with this series, because it's been 2 years since I started it, and I've been doing like 1 book a year, and at that rate it'll take me 9 years, and we're not going to be doing this for 9 years, okay? I would like to get at least 2 to 3 more in this series done by the end of 23. This is book 3, Abaddon's Gates. I did technically start it before, and then I fell off, but where we left off, not giving too many spoilers, I think everyone who knows anything about The Expanse is that there's a lot of alien action. So the alien stuff has kind of exploded, and it's becoming a bit more interstellar. It's becoming a much bigger threat. We have a lot more characters. There are many nations working together to kind of figure out who is the culprit here, who is aiding and abetting the alien forces, and like there's a lot, and I say that and I don't even think that's a spoiler, because how it goes down, every book has its own something to do with these aliens. Something's happening on Venus. There has been this alien thing that's been corresponding with its colony on Venus. It's been happening since book 1, so again, I don't think that's a spoiler, but we just find out that they might have some kind of communication that humans may not be able to decipher. So really freaking cool if you want an action-packed series. Like, this reads super fast. I might even be able to film this for a vlog because I can probably read it in a week. Like, that's how easy it is. And I want to get to the series. I heard the series was a lot of fun, but I need to catch up. Round 3 is TBR Claw. It's a 3 red and a green. And Chancement Elves with also a 3. So I'm gonna do this again. A 7, Beanstalk Giant, and the Shire. Oop, that's a land, so that doesn't count. Let's do another one to go against Beanstalk Giant. A 5, okay. Cirith Ungol Patrol. Let's roll the green dice. 20. So for green, we rolled a 20, which gave us a POC author, and I'm going to be reading This Weightless World by Adam Soto. This one, I've been like trying to get people in the sci-fi Discord to read it with me. However, it's been losing every single poll that we've done. So you know what? I think I'm just gonna read it myself. This is a existential, apocalyptic, horror sci-fi. I think it's like loose horror sci-fi, maybe more into like weird fiction if I understand that correctly. There's a teacher, it's the end of the world, they have a family. Is their family gonna stay together? It's gonna drive them apart. What does that mean as a person of color and a father figure and like someone who's known for bringing the community together? Like, what do they do with something, a job that's given them purpose at the end of the world? I think they're a music teacher, so it's in like the artsy field. So that means that this has been on my highly anticipated 5-star reads. Not only that, but the cover is absolutely gorgeous. So, like, come on. Also, I'm going to be reading off of my laptop for this next one because it is the book club pick. So this is not something that was decided by the joust that we saw. I'm going to be reading Last Exit by Max Gladstone. So I'll put a picture up here. I am going to get a copy of this. And I am justifying getting a copy because I have read 4 physical books off of my shelf, which is my new rule. I have to read 4 books that I own before I can buy a new book. Like, I'm still whittling down my physical TBR and indulging myself. So, Last Exit by Max Gladstone was the winner of this month's or July's Sci-Fi Book Club poll. So if you're interested in reading sci-fi with a bunch of sci-fi lovers, and we have a live show usually around the end of every month on a different person's channel, and then we talk about it. We have channels for lots of different books and sci-fi movies and just random discussions or anything that kind of happens in the news that's sci-fi, and you want to have a voice and kind of like jump in and suggest books and poll with us and what you want to read with us. The link for the Discord is below. But I don't know much about this book, so I'm going to read it here. All I know is that before I voted for it, I did read it, like the synopsis, and then I forgot what it said. Okay, but let's find out together. So it says, when Zelda and her friends first met in college, they believed they had all the answers. They had figured out a big secret about how the world worked, and they thought that meant they could change things. They failed. One of their own fell to darkness and rot. 10 years later, they've drifted apart, building lives for themselves, families, fortunes, all but Zelda. She's still wandering the back roads of the nation. She's still fighting monsters. She knows the past isn't over. It's not even past. The road's still there. The rot's still waiting. They can't hide from it anymore because at long last, their friend is coming home and hell is coming with her. Okay, so is it like a disease? Are there actual monsters? I don't know. Are people the threat? I'm not sure. What are the other genres of this? I'm so curious besides sci-fi. Okay, it's fantasy, horror, fiction, urban fantasy, LGBTQ+, queer, sapphic, adult. Oh my god, it's like pretty much everything that I enjoy reading. That is amazing. The only thing that I keep getting stuck on is the name Zelda, because I'm just gonna be picturing Zelda in my head this entire time fighting monsters in the apocalypse. Okay, anyway. So this video feels pretty rough, but like I said, it's the first time that I'm doing this video for this month, so there will definitely be some like fixes and changes after I put this video together and through suggestions that you guys might be able to give me. But if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I post videos all the time. I'll see you later. Bye!
On we go.
What's it making, Mr. Wonka? Mr.